If you're buying a home, the home inspection is one of the most important parts of the entire process. And it's also where a lot of buyers become confused or overwhelmed. So don't go anywhere, because today we're going to walk through what actually matters when it comes to home inspections. Hi, I'm Tina Veltri, a realtor on Florida's Space Coast, and I help people buy, build, sell, and relocate with confidence. Now, if you joined me last week, I sat down with Angel Pacheco from Dyer Mortgage, and we walked through the lending side of the process, what buyers need to know before they ever get under contract. And today I'm going to be sitting down with Bill Daniel from Hound Dog Inspections. Bill has spent over 40 years in and around construction, and he's someone that I've personally worked with many times to help buyers understand what they're really walking into before they close on a home. Thanks so much, Bill, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. You and I have worked together, and you've been my home inspector for buyers before, and I really am excited that you decided to come here today, join me, and share your expertise with everyone.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Right.
Bill, can you tell me about, your standard home inspection and what that entails versus the 4-point inspection and the wind mitigation inspection?
The 4-point and the wind mitigation are primarily insurance documents.
Okay.
And each one has a specific use. The 4-point is letting the insurance company know, is there anything going wrong with the house that's going to make further damage the home, such as a safety issue or roof leak, plumbing leak, things that will result in a claim. And the wind med is looking at the attributes of the home, how it will stand up to wind damage. And they base their premiums on that.
Mm-hmm.
The standard residential, we're looking at everything from the roof to the foundation, inside and out. And the difference in the 4-point and the standard inspection, the 4-point, we're only looking at the 4 primary systems:
mm-hmm.
roof, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. The standard residential, we're looking at everything. So if all we're doing is a 4-point, and we're walking past a lot of other defects. There could be structural issues that we see that we're just not going to comment because it's not covered in the scope.
Okay.
So the standard picks up everything.
Got it. Okay, we know that there are going to be some big changes with the wind mitigation form starting on April 1st. We're all going to have to kind of learn about that going forward. Can you speak on some of the changes and why they're happening?
So there was a lot of ambiguity in the original 1802, the original WinMet form.
Okay.
And the new WinMet form clears up a lot of that ambiguity and takes into account, a lot of it had to do with the way the roof and wall were connected. Okay. So that those straps and clips and the uplift rating and everything on all those, that's going to be answered on the new WinMet form. And there's some other things that are calculated in that, but it's a more complicated form. The boxes are tiny. There's so much information.
So much.
I'm actually going through a class before April 1st.
Oh, good.
To learn the new form and all the details on it. It's a lot more complicated. Now, what I learn, and I got me and all my guys are going through the class, as well as 100 other inspectors from around the state going through this class. And this class has been packed.
I bet. And you're going to have to come on over and then have a class for all of us realtors.
More than happy to.
Good.
But I got to learn it first.
So we've talked a lot about home inspections for new construction and getting that pre-drywall inspection. And then there's also the inspection before closing, and why that pre-drywall inspection is so important.
Yeah, sure. So the pre-drywall is that we can see everything during that pre-drywall. So the roof is on, all the trusses are exposed, all the interior framing is exposed. So the roof is on, the windows are on, all the HVAC system, all the ductwork is installed, but the units are not. All the electrical is run and all the plumbing is stubbed out and supported. So we can see all the framing, and we can note anything that's going on with the framing. We can see the way the windows are put in and bucked in, and see the way they were sealed. So everything is extremely visible. We can see any damage to the trusses that are not typically that visible. So, but we can see all the ducting and all the trusses and all the connections to the roof during that phase of it. it's very important you don't let them install insulation. Because another thing that we're doing is we're running all the electrical that's in there. We're making sure there's no staples through any electrical lines, which will cause a fire.
Right.
And we need to be able to see that. So we run every single electrical line that goes to the house to make sure that there's no issues with that that will result in a fire.
Right. And then the final inspection, the final walkthrough inspection. Right?
It's a full home inspection,
right.
But now everything is energized.
Yeah.
So all the electrical is, yeah, we saw that it was in, but were all the outlets installed correctly? Were all the systems hooked up the way they're supposed to be? Is now that the plumbing is energized as well. So you have all the or pressurized. So now you have all the stuff going on the plumbing. We're looking for leaks. We're looking for other issues. We're also checking the waistline, especially if you order a scope on it. We're checking because there's a lot of stuff that goes on during construction where stuff gets thrown down the pipes and can result in an issue a few weeks after.
Yes, we do know that.
So that if you order that, then we'll do a scope on it as well, and we're checking all that.
Can you maybe share a couple of things that maybe you found during a pre-drywall or a final inspection on a new construction home?
Yeah, so we found a number of things, from things that were not vented right, or things that were, things that weren't installed that should have been installed, and it usually occurs at the intersection of trades, where you have the wall guy and the exterior wall guy and the roof guy, where one does their trade really well and the other one does his trade really well, but where they share that junction is usually where the errors occur. Like we found one, it was a drywall guy put the drywall in great, but he drywalled over where the vent was for the AC, and we found it on thermal. We've actually this big cold spot up there because they drywalled over a vent. So it's construction. It's not perfect, but it's construction.
Now, we know that all homes have some cracks. We see it in home inspections all the time. Right. But can you speak on, what cracks that we really need to be more concerned about versus what is just settling?
So the three primary stucco cracks that you see on the outside of a concrete block home. Okay. You have stair step cracks and horizontal cracks, either both at the near the foundation and also halfway up the wall, and then you have vertical cracks. And the direction of the crack matters. Okay. The vertical cracks are usually pretty benign, and they're usually at stress points, and they're usually hairline. It's rare that you see one that's wider, that's a vertical crack. Stair step cracks, you have a home that's settling unevenly, and it's usually at a corner or below a window, and those are becoming, the ones at corners are becoming more of a structural issue depending on the width of the crack. If it's just hairline, then you can repair it and stop the cause of it, usually a downspout. Usually water. So water is very
I've seen those a lot.
Yeah.
Very hairline stair crack, cracks at the windows.
And that's recoverable without a structural engineer out there. Okay. So those are pretty benign as well, but you have to do something to mitigate it. And that means getting the water away from the house, not just leaving it at the corner. The horizontal cracks, those are also structural, but as long as they're hairline, they're not a big issue. Okay. Gutters are the management for that. So water management around the home is really key, and we bring that up and we teach it on all of our inspections when we're talking to people.
I know you do.
People want to stop hearing about it all the time, but we had to say it. It's just such a big deal.
It is. Yeah. Can you talk about at the end of the inspection that you do? Whether the buyer's there, just the agent, I'm there, you do a little wrap up to let us know what are the things that are the most important, what to prioritize in that home inspection of what needs to be addressed immediately versus what's a honey-do list and really doesn't matter.
Right. So we'll go over the list. There'll be a lot of things on the list. And there will be a significant part that are on the honey-do list, but we'll go over the ones that are high priority items, the ones that will be the most costly, and we'll break those out and we'll explain those in detail, and we'll go over kind of what your next step is on that. Yes. Some of them will show up on the 4-point, others won't. So be aware of that. Just because it's showing up on the 4-point, that may not be everything. So make sure you find out which one are the ones that require a big scope and a bigger financial hit, to make sure those are covered with your real estate agent. Right. So the WIMMIT is going to be the things that more preventative.
Yep.
The 4-point is going to include the things that come up on the 4-point that are the unsatisfactories on it.
Right.
Those are the items at the roof and those result in leaks and stuff.
Yep.
But you can have things that are going on, either a structural or like mold or something. Those don't show up on the 4-point. They can be a safety hazard. They can be a structural issue, and they can be very costly.
Those would be things that you would prioritize and tell
those will go. We'll go over those on wrap up. And we'll include those. Usually, what we do is we go over the really big items early on in the wrap up, and then we'll kind of skim the ones that are the kind of the honeydews and the smaller items. There's still things that need to be repaired. But we'll focus primarily on the big gotchas.
Good. Now, I know you have quite a few very interesting stories, being a home inspector for so many years, and you've shared some with me, but I'd like you to share, some things that people really would never even think of. Can you share a story that you shared with me recently?
Yeah, well, one of them that came to mind as we were talking, it was actually a foreclosure that some customers were buying. And I went in and started the inspection. There was severe structural issues with the house. They had one wall that was buckling terribly, and the leaks through the roof and leaks all around the house. So much so that when I was walking through the house, there was mold growing all over the carpet.
Oh my gosh!
Up the walls.
It's not funny, but
and
wow.
I was sloshing through the home. It was so bad in there. The mold was so bad. I had to go out and get a respirator so that I could be safe in the home. So I'm walking through the house with a respirator on and booties because I'm sloshing through the carpet.
Right.
And the customers are walking around measuring for furniture. And
no, they were not.
So I did part of the inspection and brought them back outside, and I was like, "Listen, you may not want to be in the house just yet. There's severe mold in the house." But that's when they were like, maybe we should look for something else, because the house was in really bad shape.
Yes.
It was a great price, but
I bet it was. I bet it was. And if you're willing to do the work and what it takes to get it done, so be it.
Yeah.
But always good that you step in and you can give them the full picture.
Once they understood after the purchase, they couldn't even live in it. It was uninhabitable the way it sat right there.
Yeah.
So that was like, wait a minute, maybe we should rethink this.
Yeah, that's good. Did they buy it?
No, they didn't.
They did not buy it. Okay.
They went on to another house.
Good.
And it probably worked out better for them.
So when a person is buying a home, what is the best piece of advice that you could give to them when it comes to home inspections?
Find a reputable home inspector, have it inspected, and read the entire report. Ask questions. If you're going to be there for wrap up, ask plenty of questions, but read the entire report. The reports are really long, and they take a while to go through. Read the whole thing, and then take that report and sit down with your realtor and ask their advice on it as well, because inspectors look at things different than the realtors.
Right.
And so the realtor also is another professional in your corner.
Thank you, Bill, so much for coming out today and sharing all of your expertise and answering all of the questions that buyers really want to know about home inspections. I couldn't thank you enough.
Oh, well, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
I enjoyed it very much.
I did too, Bill. I did too. I enjoy working with you so much. And this is a topic that people just have so many questions. And I thought it would be really good to sit down with you and have you, the professional, be able to explain it a lot better than I can.
Yeah, hopefully we didn't run too long, because I kind of get lost in the details sometimes.
You did a fabulous job, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
All right.
At the end of the day, inspections aren't about finding the perfect house. They're about understanding what you're buying and making a confident decision. And if you're still in the research phase and just want clarity, I'm always happy to help you think through the next steps. Now, if you haven't already, I also have a video that walks you through the entire home buying process step by step. And that's a great place to start. I'm Tina Veltri. I help people buy, build, sell, and relocate to Florida's Space Coast with confidence. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel as I put out a new video every Tuesday. I'll see you on the next video.